So if you do a simple Google search and you do barn weddings in Wisconsin, you get so many different venues that pop up, and they're all beautiful. They're gorgeous, and that's been a kind of a growing trend.
They've become very popular in the last at least 3 years, maybe even longer. But a lot of people are doing it. In fact, one of our main reporters in the newsroom, Adam Roberts, he's having a wedding in a barn coming up in October.
Kind of a rustic venue. It's a little non-traditional. You get some outside, get some inside, and you can kind of control your controllables on the inside, from music to food, if you want beer, wine, soda, and all that kind of stuff. Well, there are new laws requiring such venues to get a permit or a license to sell or allow alcohol starting in 2026. It's part of the Wisconsin Act 73. It went into law in 2023. It fully takes effect at the start of the year 2026. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty not having it. They're fighting against here on behalf of barn wedding venue owners in the state of Wisconsin. Lucas Weber is with WILL, the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. Thanks for coming in, Will.
Hey, thanks for having me today.
So have people reached out to you to say, what can we do about this? We don't feel it's right. People who own these venues on personal properties or farms in the state of Wisconsin?
Yeah, they have. So this legislative effort to essentially make this business model unlawful has been ongoing for about the past 4 legislative sessions. In the previous 3, it has failed. This time, the act was signed into law. So it takes effect, as you noted, with a delayed date, January 1 of 2026. Act 73 does a whole bunch of other stuff that takes effect earlier that's unrelated to wedding barns. But these particular changes take effect in January of 26 and are going to have a devastating effect on some of the wedding barns in our state.
What exactly are the changes that are set to take effect?
Yeah, so historically, under Wisconsin law, you need a liquor license if you're selling alcohol, obviously, and then if you are consuming alcohol in a public place. So wedding barns, just like your Thanksgiving dinner or a backyard party, were never considered a public place. They weren't open to the public. Those events are purely private. Nobody can walk into your wedding and participate. And so they haven't needed a liquor license. The state has never required one. The Department of Revenue has explicitly allowed wedding barns to exist without them. Under the Act 73 changes, any space essentially in the state of Wisconsin that's now available for rent, subject to the exceptions under Act 73, is now declared a public place under the law. So wedding barns, other private event venues, certain Airbnbs, for example, are going to be considered public places now and will need to either get a liquor license or a new permit created under the bill called a no-sale event venue permit.
Is there an element of liability as well that the state is looking at here, Will, where they say, okay, you're going to pay X amount of dollars to use this space, you're going to have people drinking, it's on your personal property at home. I know some of that could be outlined in a contract, but is there a liability concern on the state's behalf that they're looking at here?
Yeah, so those businesses, those private businesses have had to deal with that previously. I mean, they have business insurance as it exists now. If they were to be required to get a liquor license and become a tavern, assuming they could even get that, which, again, there's no guarantee that any of these places will be able to, but assuming they could get that, they'd have to upend their entire business model, change their insurance to account for different things, change how they handle all of their accounting, everything like that.
How much does a liquor license cost these days?
It varies municipality to municipality, but thousands of dollars to purchase the liquor license, but then, of course, you got to go through all of the regulatory process with that. So you can only they can no longer carry in alcohol, so they have to purchase alcohol through you, which means you have to buy it from a retail or a wholesaler. It's the whole 3-tier system. It ropes them in.
So tell us about some of these personal stories, because I guess I want to hear more from, the owner of one of these barns. What are they telling with you? I mean, you're ultimately suing on behalf of these people. What are they saying about how this could impact their business moving forward? Yeah,
so our client, Jean Bond, the owner of Farmview Event Barn, we released a video with her today. Jean has said that this will makes it harder for her to stay in business. She's doesn't want to be a tavern, doesn't want to be in the business of selling alcohol, handling alcohol, doesn't want anything to do with it. And if she's forced to operate under the no-sale event venue permit, state law limits her to only 6 events per year and 1 event per month. That makes it really difficult for her to hire staff, to invest in her facilities, to keep up and just stay in business. It's going to have a detrimental effect if this goes into effect in January of 26.
What will it take to repeal this component of Act 73?
Yeah, so the legislature could come in and do it. They certainly could change the law. It would take an act of the legislature. Short of that, our lawsuit seeks to declare those provisions of Act 73 unconstitutional. We think that it violates their right to earn a living under the state constitution. It also violates equal protection, and that has to do with the carve-outs to it, the exceptions that are made under the law.
Lucas Weber is with Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, fighting on behalf of barn wedding venue owners here. on their own private property in the state of Wisconsin. Appreciate your time, Lucas. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
It's 12